Mr. Director, I'm going to try one more time on the PDB of August 6th, and I'm going to stop talking about it. Because sometimes when the PDB is read here or on television stations, it's only sort of half read. So I'd like to read the whole sentence if I can. On the first page of the PDB, and you'll grant me, I suspect, that almost all of the information in the PDB relates to the period 1998 or 1999, 3 years before September 11th. Is that correct?
Most of the data is in this time period, and the second page, as you know, is more current data as a result of the specific walk-in that comes in, that there is a CSG held on May 15th through May 16th, and then there's this specific data about surveillance in New York. So there's most of it at the front end is historical in nature, or its background is what I'd call it, older data, and then you flip the page and you get to more current data.
Okay. Near the bottom of the first page, it said, Al-Qaeda members, including some who are U.S. citizens, have resided in or traveled to the U.S. for years, and the group apparently maintains a support structure that could aid attacks. If we are to credit Tom Picard's testimony yesterday, the 9/11 plotters, in fact, did not turn to any group of supporters within the United States to aid their attacks. Is that correct?
I think to the best of our knowledge, that's true. But
okay.
What the analyst was thinking about there was the fact that some of the defendants in the East Africa bombing trial had resided in the United States at one point in their past.
Right.
So she was connecting dots, if you will.
Right. Last paragraph on that page. We have not been able to corroborate some of the more sensational threat reporting, such as that from a service in 1998, 3 years earlier, saying that bin Laden wanted to hijack a U.S. aircraft to gain the release of Blind Sheikh or other U.S.-held extremists, and that turned out not to have anything to do with September 11th. Is that correct?
And the concept of corroboration, of course, is, Commissioner Lehman, did you get another piece of human? Did you get another piece of SIGINT? Is there a walk-in who's come in to tell you the same plot? So corroboration is just, do you have more than one source, and is it valid? So that's what we meant by corroboration.
The top of the second page, nevertheless, FBI information, so this is something coming to you from the FBI, not yours self-generated, since that time indicates patterns of suspicious activity in this country consistent with preparations for hijackings or other types of attacks. But the only reference here is including recent surveillance of federal buildings in New York, which turned out to be, according to the FBI, Yemeni tourists. Is that right?
That's what we've been told, yes.
The FBI is conducting approximately 70 full field investigations throughout the U.S. that it considers bin Laden related. FBI testimony here yesterday sort of downplayed the notion that there were 70 full field investigations going on because they said each person being looked at constituted a separate full field investigation, something that was sort of news to us on the panel yesterday.
I have to leave it
Right.
to the director this afternoon to clarify whether the number is correct or incorrect.
Okay. On page 8 of your prepared statement, Mr. Director, you say, fourth, the DCI has to have an operational and analytical span of control that allows him or her to inform the President authoritatively about covert action and other very sensitive activities. What does that mean?
It means to me that there are a range of activities. The President grants authorities for the director of, you pick the whatever you want him to be, that I believe that that person has to be intimately tied to the Directorate of Operations carrying out that covert action and has to have an ability to understand other sensitive collection and other activities with some intimacy to be able to tell the President authoritatively not only how you're operating, but what the risks are, what the political downsides are. Somebody has to be responsible and tied to the people who are carrying out those activities is what I meant.
And we don't have that now?
No, we do.
We do.
You have it in the form of the current DCI.
You?
Yes.
Okay. And we should not change that, in your view?
Well, I think it's something you need to think about quite carefully. I wouldn't.
Okay.
Or you can, again, as I came back, you can restructure the way I'm structured, but I would not take that kind of line authority from a person that has a direct report for the President who also has a chain of command to the people that are executing these operations.
Is there any reason why the domestic intelligence functions of the FBI could not be placed under the CIA?
Lots of good historical reasons, lots of privacy reasons, just lots of reasons, sir. I think that this is not appropriate. I would not want to be in a position where the DCI, given our statutory framework, our laws, our privacy, our history, I don't think it's appropriate.
Why is
This is the last question, Commissioner.
Why is privacy more of a concern under the CIA than it would be under the FBI?
Well, sir, since, I don't want to be flip about this, since we operate almost extensively in an overseas environment, we operate with a certain degree of impunity with regards to other countries' laws. Since we're operating clandestinely and collecting clandestinely, and we're not going to a judge to tap somebody's whatever we're doing or launching surveillance, it's a different context for us.
But you could do what the FBI does now, right?
Probably not, sir.
Couldn't. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Director.
Not with the criminal arrest, legal and other things. That is not something that I think we are competent to undertake in the current structure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.